Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing my official review on the Nerf Elite Styfe, and this is going to be kind of split up into two categories. The first portion is going to be over the Styfe in its stock form, exactly what it comes with and how it performs stock, and then we're going to go over the modified and kind of my setup, what modifications I've done to my personal blaster and how I like to run my blaster as far as my setup. So we're just going to start off by just going over some of the key details of the blaster itself, giving an overall review of it in its stock form, and then moving on to the modified section. First thing I want to go over is some of the key features. I pretty much covered this in my unboxing video, but we're going to cover it really fast. It's a very thin and small blaster, as you can see. This is about the size of a Recon or a Retaliator without the stock or the front barrel or anything like that. It's pretty much the same. Comes standard or stock, excuse me, with a 6-round Elite magazine, a half clear, half solid color. Obviously the main feature is it is a flywheel blaster and it runs off of 4 AA batteries. It has a rev switch underneath the trigger, the actual trigger, and then the clip release, which is now, I think this is one of the first blasters where it's actually been in the center of the wheel well, or the magazine well, so that it's, you know, I guess you could say ambidextrous. You can use it whichever hand you use or whatever. It's just right there, really nice and easy to use. It has the front barrel attachment, so you can attach other barrels, and a stock attachment, so you can attach other stocks. It has 2 tactical rails, one on the bottom portion here and one on the top back portion, and that allows you to attach foregrips or stocks or anything like that. It has a sling mount in the front, the top front portion, as well as a sling mount in the bottom of the handle, and overall it's very nice. It's got a jam door up here, so you can get in here if you ever have a jam, and I think that's pretty much it as far as details go. So it's very customizable, yet it comes pretty standard straight out of the box. Pretty much you get the blaster, the 6-round magazine, 6 elite darts, and the manual. There's nothing else that comes with it, so it's pretty stock. Or excuse me, it's pretty standard, but it allows a lot of customization. You can set this up several different ways. As far as stock performance goes, it does get the Elite 75-foot ranges at an angle. Obviously, it's shooting, I think, around 50 flat. If you go check out my my range test, I did a range test on this particular blaster, as well as comparing it to some of the voltage mods, and you can see that it gets, I believe, 50 feet flat, maybe a tiny bit more, a tiny bit less, somewhere in that range, but it can achieve the 75 with an angle. As far as using the blaster, it's very easy to use, it works extremely good, and we'll get into a little bit of a firing test once we get to the modified section. But overall, I'm definitely impressed. This retails for $19.95. I believe that's exactly what it is from all stores. A few of them are $23 and some odd change. So it's an okay price. Obviously, it's a tiny bit high because it doesn't come with any accessories. But for the price and for the blaster itself, I think it's one of my personal favorites of all blasters out there right now. I'm a big flywheel fan, and this one really has taken it to the next level. It's basically a barricade, an upgraded barricade with a clip fed system, and it's super thin. So it's really, really nice, and overall I'm definitely impressed. I would give this, seriously, I would say a 10 out of 10, maybe a 9.5 out of 10, because there's really nothing you can improve with this blaster. Obviously range can always improve, but that's what mods are for, I guess. But it really, there's nothing you could really do to this blaster except for maybe throw in a couple of extra accessories for the price. But overall, it's amazing blaster stock, and I really like it. It's probably one of my favorites, so I can't say enough about it. So overall, I'm definitely impressed. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to, I guess you could say, my modifications and how I run my blaster. I personally like to use the Super Soaker Lightning Strike stock on it. It's white. It does match pretty well, and it fits good. You know, it's very sturdy, and it makes it look really cool. I also run a 12-round magazine instead of a 6-round magazine. My main reason for that is I like stick mags. The 18 rounds are just a little bit too long, in my personal opinion. They stick out too far and just get cumbersome. 12-round magazines work great. They fit in pockets really, really nice, and you can pull them out really fast. And overall, I just love the, I guess you could say, milsim look of it. It looks really tactical, I guess you could say. I just really like how it looks. It's the closest to an actual magazine length, I guess you could say. Or if I really just need the hit firepower, I'll use a Rampage drum. The last attachment that I run off and on, it just depends on if I want to or not, is the Retaliator grip. And I like to run this just for the fact that it gives a little bit more I guess you could say, feel to it. You know, you can grab a hold of that, or you're just grabbing hold of the front of the magazine. Either way, I like it. Now, when it comes to mods on this blaster, I've done pretty much everything I can think of to it. I've done a voltage mod. I've got three Trustfire batteries in here, as well as one dummy battery. I've taken all the resistors out and pretty much rewired the blaster inside. As you can see, we'll go ahead and start it up here. It's very loud, not extremely loud over like a Raven or anything that's been voltage modded, but it's a lot louder than the stock form of it. As far as other mods I've done to it, I've wired it into the fact that the jam door switch that would normally deactivate the motors a lot faster. As you can hear, they slow down extremely fast, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. It takes half the time it would normally for the motors to decrease to a complete stop. And that's because I actually took the switch out of the jam door and relocated it to the trigger activation switch, and resoldered the wires in and stuff, and I have a tutorial on my channel if you want to check that out. And that really helped with the speed of it. It slows down a lot faster and doesn't have all that rollout time, I guess you could say. The last modification I did to it is I installed a voltage meter. When you're using Trustfire batteries and such, you don't want to under discharge your batteries, so you don't want to use them until they go dead. You want to use them until they get to a certain voltage, and to achieve that, I installed a voltage meter. Now what this is basically it just tells me how much my total voltage is, and most generally the batteries wear out the same. So once they get to a certain voltage, I normally will take them out, replace them, or recharge them or such. And with that, I put in a switch activated, and I'm hopefully, I don't know if this is going to show up very well because of the lighting, and it's not. Up in this corner, if I can do this, you can see there is a light in there. That is actually a LED voltage meter inside there. So whenever I press this button, it tells me exactly what my voltage is, and you can't really see it. There you go. You can see it a little bit better there. I've got 11.9 volts in there right now, and that just keeps it to where it's obviously going to tell me exactly what voltage I'm running. That way I don't have that problem of discharging it, and I can kind of tell when the batteries are going dead, and it's not just me thinking things, you know. So it's really nice. This is one of the things I custom do. I don't do tutorials or anything because it really is all up to you on how you want to do that. But I just basically wired that into my circuit, so whenever I press the button, the voltage shows up and tells me what I have. That's pretty much all I've done. I located the switch here because there already was kind of a hole right there, and I didn't want to put it anywhere else on the blaster, and it's pretty accessible when you're holding the blaster. Obviously you wouldn't want to do this while you're playing or like shooting or anything, but you can just reach up with your thumb, press it, and see what your voltage is. So that's pretty much all I've done. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab a few Elite darts here and just do a quick firing test. Obviously, if you want to see the full, I guess you could say full range test and such of these voltage mods, you can check out my video. I'll hopefully have a link in the description or somewhere, annotation, something like that, or you can just check out my page and you can kind of see what kind of ranges you're getting. But we're just going to do a quick firing test here, loading up 5 darts, and just kind of show you guys what kind of a punch it's getting. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the stock off to get it out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and rev it up here and just fire this off. Okay, so as you can hear, they are hitting the wall quite hard. I'm about, I would say, 6 feet away from my wall, and they are making a very loud smacking noise. They've got a lot of punch behind them, and I believe I'm getting 75 feet flat, if not more. Pretty close to 75 feet flat with this. And accuracy is not the top, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's pretty much spot on for 50 feet. Once it gets out past 50 feet, it goes crazy, but that's just what happens with streamlined darts. Overall, I am impressed with this. Like I said in the stock portion, the Styfe is a great blaster to begin with. Then when you take and add attachments to it, voltage mods, you know, stuff like that, take out the locks so that you can fire it without a dart being in there. As you can see, I did remove all the locks. You can rev it without there being a magazine or a jam door in there. As you can see, it revs fine. I can pull the trigger without it being revved. So I took all the locks out, and that just really helps it. It can also be fired with the no darts in there, as you can see. So that's one of the major things I recommend doing if you haven't already. That gets rid of your jamming issue. But overall, honestly, this is my personal favorite blaster to use. I love running this. The only time I ever run anything else is if I want to be a lot more quiet or stealthy or anything like that. But overall, it's definitely my favorite. I can't say enough good things about the Styfe. I personally love it, and I think you will too. It's got great modding potential, and it's great stock. And I really don't know what else you can ask for. So that's just my personal, I guess, preference and my personal opinion on the Nerf Elite Styfe. As you can see here, this is just my setup. All these accessories don't come with it, but this is just how I run mine, and kind of an overview of what the potential of this blaster is, even if you just have a stock one. It's an amazing blaster, and overall, I can't say I can recommend it over almost any other blaster out there. So hopefully, again, this has helped. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button and the subscribe button if you don't mind, and if you want to check out my other videos, I've got a lot more up on my channel. You can check out my Facebook page as well at facebook.com/nerftome2. We'll be keeping you up to date on all the cool stuff coming up later on this year, and some giveaways and stuff like that soon. So definitely go like the page and keep you up to date. We'll have links in the description and in the video itself. So thanks guys, hopefully this has helped, and hopefully you can keep on nerfing. Have a nice day.